heartening to see so many strange new faces here today. I know my mom would be very touched and probably a little suspicious.
Welcome back to Bandwagon fans. This is Jeff, and before I get started, I just want to welcome all my returning subscribers and to all of any new people to the channel. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to me knowing that people will come back and watch these shows that I put on, or these reviews that I put out. I have been working on some other stuff the last couple of weeks. I have 2 other jobs, so I haven't been able to get up any of my movie reviews, but there will be reviews coming out. And right now I'm going to be talking about Hereditary. So this is a horror movie. Based on the trailer, it looked like it was going to be some kind of a haunting movie, maybe a possession movie. But definitely a horror movie, and it had quite a bit of buzz going into this. I actually have pretty high expectations going into the movie. Even my sister, who doesn't watch a lot, was like calling me up saying, "Hey, let me know what you think. I might want to go see this." And I'm not going to talk too much about what the story was. I'm just going to cut in right now to some highlights from the trailer, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it.
It's Grandma. You know you were her favorite, right? Even when you were a little baby, she wouldn't let me feed you because she needed to feed you. She was a very difficult woman, which maybe explains me.
I recognize you from your mother.
What? Sometimes I swear I can feel them in the room.
Oh my God! What's that?
She isn't gone.
All right, so Hereditary. This is a movie by Ari Aster. I hope I pronounced that right. And this is starring Toni Collette as the mother of a family. Her son, played by Alex Wolff. Her husband, played by Gabriel Byrne. Her daughter, played by Millie Shapiro, and a woman that comes into the movie to kind of spur things on, played by Ann Dowd. In this movie, the movie opens with Toni's mother dying, and then her trying to go through this grieving process. And we figure out early on that there was some tension between her and her mother, and kind of the whole family and her mother. But the mother had a particular favorite in the daughter, played by Millie Shapiro. After that, so I'm not going to go too much more into the story because it's kind of hard to talk about any of the story without spoiling specific plot points. But I'll kind of talk generally about it. And in the last couple minutes, I'll hit. Probably won't. I'm not going to do any spoilers on this one. So I'm just going to talk generally about the movie. Overall, like I said, I had high hopes going into this. I've heard a lot of buzz. I'm also seeing this a few days late, so I also heard a lot of the negative buzz. I heard one person compared it to Mother, and I kind of understand where they're coming from, but I would ultimately disagree with that assessment. Overall, this movie went through. So it is a horror movie. It's a possession movie. It's a ghost movie. It's a whole bunch of parts of other movies that have, quite frankly, been done better. For a while, it felt like it had a Shining vibe to it. It had some themes that were reminiscent of The Shining, and I thought it was going to go in that direction. And it had some stuff, a lot of just really random things, like not too many straight jump scares, but trying to do horror through random imagery. And it almost felt like, for anybody that remembers The Ring, the video that gets shown in The Ring, it almost felt like a 2-hour version of that. Like, hey, here's random ants running around doing something, and here's a random bird that flies in a window, and here's just little random things that didn't quite ever gel into a cohesive whole. There was a pretty startling event that happened in the movie, but that happened early on, and then there was nothing else in the movie that kind of rivaled the startleness of this one event. Overall, and especially towards the end of the movie, it honestly got kind of comical, a lot of unintentional humor, and it kind of went from a Shining vibe to 2018's version of The Wicker Man. That's really how bad it got. And I'm not talking about the original Wicker Man. I'm talking the Nick Cage Wicker Man. So as far as anything that worked in the movie, all the performances were solid. Well, I won't say all of them. Most of the performances were solid. I will say Toni Collette was kind of erratic. And some people in the comments are going to say, well, that was her character. But the performance itself was kind of erratic, but most of the supporting cast was solid enough. I think they did the best with the material they were given. There was definitely scenes where particularly the sound design and the music, they did a pretty good job of building tension. It's just about an hour into the movie, I know a lot of other people in the audience just stopped caring where that tension was going or how it was going to be released. It just, honestly, about 2/3 in, I really just wanted it to end. I just wanted the whole movie to end pretty soon because quite frankly, it just got boring. The randomness, not just in terms of imagery, but in terms of character motivations. It was unclear from one scene to the next who was possessed, who the good people were, who you're supposed to root for. The one victim of the movie was not sympathetic at all. Actually, none of the characters were particularly sympathetic. There were characters that recognized something wasn't right and recognized that there was a danger and looked like they were going to do the obvious thing to get themselves out of a dangerous situation, but just went to bed. Just like, yeah, I know somebody's acting crazy and there's a good chance they're going to set me or somebody else on fire or chop my head off. I'm just going to go to bed in the same house with this person. And really stuff like that just really, by the end of the movie, just took me out of it. Just made me not care about anybody in this movie or what happened. And by the time it ended which I'm sure there's going to be videos analyzing the ending scene and the themes and the motivation, whatever. Nothing was executed particularly well for me. I wouldn't recommend watching this. Maybe for free on Netflix or HBO or something. I'm going to give this I'm going to go 1 3/4 stars on Hereditary. Just a complete letdown. I had high hopes going in, and it just let me down. But for those of you who have seen it, and I know it's kind of found an audience, so for those of you who have seen it, leave your comments below. Tell me what you think. If you haven't seen it yet, go ahead and leave your comments as well. What else you're hearing about the movie and whether or not you might want to watch this at a later date. But that's Hereditary, 1 3/4 stars, completely passable. There are much better movies out there. I think A Quiet Place is still in a few theaters. Go see that instead. Till then, I'm Jeff. Thanks for watching, and get on the bandwagon.